Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano market update. We're normally on a Monday, we take a look at the overall Cardano ecosystem, the top tokens, the movers, where the action has been for the last week, and some general project updates. Missed a day with yesterday. We lost power over the weekend. There was a storm here in Ireland, so I'm a little bit behind, but catching up now. Also, the overall crypto market, rocky 24 hours with some massive liquidations happening yesterday. New quantum computer chips coming out from Google that has potential implications for crypto. I would say in the future, it's not now, but it does cause a little bit of unease. So we'll take a quick look at that as well as everything else that's going on. If you get value, please do share it out. Give the video a like, comment, questions for projects or anything in specific that you want me to start looking into in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you're new. Do appreciate it. Let's jump into it. So kicking it off, looking at the overall market, and you can see here on CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin just pushing up for $98,000, even though it was a bit of a rocky 24 hours. And I suppose when you look at it here, Bitcoin only down 1.2% right now after the bounce that it has had. So not too bad for Bitcoin. The rest of the market still lagging a little bit more, but we'll look at that in a minute. For the 7 days, Bitcoin up nearly 4% for the week. If you look at 24 hours, Ethereum down 5, XRP 11, Solana 6, BNB down 6, Doge down 9, then ADA down 12.5%, and for the week down 17.5%. Now you can see markets are fairly volatile, things are moving. Generally in these types of markets, I would say if you're not going to be buying or selling or anything like that, maybe turn off the price charts. It's not worth the mental stress that it causes when you're watching the huge fluctuations. If we look at so that's the Bitcoin price, you can see yesterday went from $101,000 down to $94,000 at the low, and right now pushing for 98. But if you look at the AUD price, so yesterday the peak up at 120, at the bottom down to 89 cents. So a massive difference, 30-cent difference in terms of the candle. That's probably one of the biggest moves that the price of ADA has had in a while. We'll look at some of the reasons in a few minutes maybe, but right now sitting at just under $1. So overall, in the bigger picture, when you look at what we've had over the last month or so, then we're still not in a bad position at all. And like I always say, the ADA BTC chart is the one to watch. And when I look at this, I see from a technical standpoint anyway, then to me, this is positive. Like we talked about back here, holding that 980 sats level, got its support here, got its support at this point, again in the bounce yesterday, wicked down through it and straight back up, and again, touched that support area. So for me, what I'm watching is to see against the price of Bitcoin, can it get its bounce? If it does, then to me anyway, that signifies some really strong movement coming for the price of ADA against Bitcoin. Obviously, there's a lot of other things going on outside of technical analysis, but from a technical side, that's what I'd be personally looking at. So one of the reasons that I think obviously there's a lot of things going on in the world. There's different wars, there's potential escalations coming in certain regions. That does have an impact. Another one that I think people got maybe a little bit worried on was Google reveals quantum computing chip. Is Bitcoin threatened? So there is an article here that talks a little bit about it, but really for me anyway, from the research I've done into it, I think potentially in the future, there are going to be some risks there. There has to be lots of work, research, everything done into it. But right now, I don't think it is any risk. Here is the initial announcement about Willow, a new state-of-the-art quantum computing chip with a breakthrough that can reduce errors exponentially as we scale up using more qubits, cracking a 30-year challenge in the field. So in one of their benchmarks, they done something in under 5 minutes that would have taken thousands of years for some standard computers right now. At the minute, this is breaking technology. It is still can only be done at very small scale, so it's not something to be worried about yet. I know someone, I'm not going to find it there, Charles said there is for Cardano. He has things in mind to prevent any risks that are going to happen there. I'll try and find the tweets after, but maybe I'll dive into that in another video. Okay, let's move on to the Cardano ecosystem then. So using tap tools like we always do, I have this set to ADA. So I want to see the tokens against the price of ADA. You can change it to whatever you want up there. But for me, like we look at the price of ADA against Bitcoin as the main, I suppose, the overall picture for me, that's what I do here when I'm looking at the Cardano ecosystem. I look at tokens against the price of ADA, because if you are using this for just trading in and out, then you want to accumulate more of the base asset. Obviously, there's some projects that you hold for the long term, and there's some that I've held for probably 2 years or more at this point and plan to hold for a long time yet. But looking at number one, we have SNEC setting new all-time highs every week, up 8% for the last week, I think up here. So SNEC has been officially listed on Bitpanda. So another way for people to come in, people outside the ecosystem to come in and be able to buy SNEC. And they're pushing forward every week. There's always talk of more and more exchanges coming, because we'll come to that tab in a minute. They're looking to bring more adoption, get more people interested in, and easier ways for people to be able to buy the token, and probably could do a deep dive into everything that SNEC is working on, or if any of the team want to come on and have a chat about it, let's try and set that up. But WMT, World Mobile, been a great week for them, up 24% against the price of ADA. And this evening, actually, the Connecting the Disconnected, the live premiere is on at 9:30 UTC. I can leave a link to this down below. This is where they went out. Charles gave them his Black Hawk helicopter, where they went out to a devastated region to try and restore connectivity, and using the technology they have and the physical infrastructure that they have to try and bring the area back into connectivity and help with the disaster area. Apart from that, World Mobile have been pushing forward. Lots of different things happening. The testnet is out. The incentivized one I don't think is too far away. I'm nearly sure I'm sitting down with Mickey this week. So if you have questions on World Mobile, leave them in the comment section below. AGIX in at number 3. Not one I follow, so I'm not fully sure what's going on really. I know actually World Mobile, just on them, they are opening the portal again. So if you want to convert your WMT to WMTX, then you can do that. I think December 16th is when it's going to open up again. And they are using the Singularity Net bridge if you want to bridge then from Cardano into Ethereum. IAG, good week for them, up 5% against the price of ADA. The IGON are pushing forward all the time. They have 2 big proposals in with Catalyst. Actually, I think they have 3 in total, but 2 big ones in for pilots with very big partners, and they've been getting a lot of support on them. So I think overall that's going to be good for the project. If they get funded, it really pushes everything forward. But IGON in general, there's a lot of different things happening, even behind the scenes. I'm definitely due a full dedicated video to catch up on them very soon. Liquid down 7% for the week. Haven't seen anything really to push it down apart from general market volatility. In terms of number of trades, not a huge amount, but they are involved in Catalyst voting. And that's one, I'll talk about it a bit here, but I think that definitely needs another video looking at projects that use their liquidity or use their protocol liquidity to vote in Catalyst. And is that an incentive for people to actually come in and get the token, to own the token, because then you have a say in Catalyst? But we'll talk about that narrative at the end of this video, and then maybe in a dedicated one. MinSwap are the same. They get involved in Catalyst, and it's becoming a reason to hold the token, because if you want to have an influence on who MinSwap vote for, then you need to have the Min token, and there's knock-on effects to that, giving it more reasons to hold tokens like LQ and Min. Hosky, it's been another very active week for Hosky, down 28% for the week. Last 24 hours, up 12%. But like most meme coins, there's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of volatility happening with them. If you look over here on the right, in the last 30 days, it's still up 511% in the last 30 days. Just like SNEC up at number 1, up 135 for the last 30 days. Copy then in at 4%. They did get a highlight on the Binance stream there a few days ago, so that brought a lot of more interest into it. Overall, been a decent week for Copy. Lenfi down 17%, not sure of the reason. If you look at the last 30 days, they're still up 10% in 30 days because they had been on a really good run. So maybe it was just time for a pullback. Indie have been pushing forward. That's another project I need to probably do a deep dive now at some point soon. ISOL has launched. It's a synthetics protocol on Cardano, and they are looking to bring institutions in now over the next while. I know there's lots of different posts, and I suppose, leaks. I haven't seen much official stuff on everything that's going to happen with the next version of the protocol, but there's some very interesting stuff out there that we can take a deep dive into. If you look at transactions then for the last 24 hours, SNEC has the most activity. So this is the number of swaps. And then this one here is the number of makers. So the number of different people trading the token. Hosky in number 2. Jed then in at number 3. And this is, the reason for this is when you have a lot of market volatility, then you want to have stable coins to be able to go back into stable coins rather than being stuck in volatile assets to try and preserve profits. Or even when the markets are going up, you can still trade in and out of stable coins. Right now, liquidity on Cardano is a bit thin for stable coins. Actually, we set up a new page on Fetch, which is the DEX aggregator that I'm a part of. And this page we're going to build out even more, but this is kind of showing you the stable coins on Cardano, showing you some of the stats around it. So the different stable coins, the tradable pairs that you have, these are pairs that are direct liquidity pairs. So you can trade them all through the aggregator. Holders, supply, the actual price then, so you can see which ones are holding their peg, which are slightly off. And then up here, this again is one feature we will expand, but say you have 10,000 ADA and you want to put it into the stable coins. If you look here, you can see if I have 10,000 ADA, this is how much I would get back of each of the different stable coins. If I go into JED, I would lose 1.7% in slippage. If I go into IUSD, I would lose 1.1%. In MyUSD have other features where you can do streaming swaps, so you wouldn't necessarily put large amounts in one transaction. And then with USDM at the minute, you would lose 2%. So that is our fiat-backed stablecoin right now. So we do need more liquidity, but I'm getting a bit sidetracked. Maybe that's another video we can look into. USDA should be coming along very soon from Emergo and Anzens. So that's another one I need to chase up. In terms of number 4, then you have Chad, which is another meme coin, came from Snec.fun. I think Snec.fun have had a few fairly good runs from meme coins over the last 2 weeks. Lots of them starting to get traction, starting to hit some decent market caps. Again, if you're getting involved in it, a lot of it is casino-like in terms of getting involved in new meme coins. You never know what's going to take off. 99% of them will fail within the first 24 hours, and you will have some that start to gain a bit of traction and start to look to actually do things within the ecosystem and push forward, but they are very hard to pick out. Bodega, which was on Axo, which was on the launchpad, they have launched, they have a predictions market on Cardano. Another one maybe we can look into at some point. And just to touch on one other aspect that I think will become a bigger narrative. Now we have to see what's going to happen with Catalyst funding in 2025. But if protocols continue to get involved in the voting process and what they do, then it starts to become more interesting to hold the token, or more of a reason for people to hold the tokens for them projects. Or in around Catalyst, you will start to see the price of the token move up in advance of the snapshots, because people want to have a vote in what each of them protocols use their liquidity for. So MinSwap was probably the pioneer in this, and this is their latest vote for Fund 13. So you can see this one finishes up tomorrow morning, so there's only a few hours left on this really. But what they do is they do it in different ways, and I'm not going to get into all the details here because it would take too long, but basically there are 65 proposals here that any MinSwap holders, any Min token holders can vote on, and then the top, I think 30, top 30 are going to be voted on then by MinSwap in Catalyst, and that's going to be voted on with 53 million ADA. So it's a big incentive to be able to get the MinSwap backing, and you can see they had a quorum of 105 million Min must vote in this. They got 210 already, so they've hit that threshold, so the vote will go ahead, and there's some really good proposals in this. And also just to say thanks to the committee who did put forward one of the proposals that I'm a part of, the open source arbitrage bot. I do appreciate it, and any min holders also appreciate any of the votes there. Wing Riders, this is the first time they've got involved in this process, and you can see again what they're doing is very similar to what MinSwap have done. They've done the social side, they had their own internal side, trying to decide on what proposals, and then they're all put in here, and WRT holders get to vote on this. You then also have Liquid Finance. They've done it in, I think, 2 previous rounds, where they do the same thing. They're going to vote. They have 50 proposals here that have been picked by the internal committee that went through all the proposals, and what they do is they went through them and decided which ones scored the best on utility for Liquid, utility for Cardano DeFi, which I like to see, general importance to Cardano, and probability of successful implementation. And the top 20 proposals then will be voted on by Liquid. And again, I think they have something like 60 million ADA. So again, it's a massive vote, a massive benefit to any of the proposals that do get voted in there. Liquid is another project that I need to get some detailed videos out on fairly soon, especially with the interest coming from the Bitcoin side, looking at utilizing Cardano DeFi. We need to get the dApps on Cardano that offer DeFi for potential users coming in from Bitcoin, get it out there, show them how easy it is and the opportunities that are there to get involved. And just on the Liquid community, again, I appreciate being one of our proposals being put in there for a liquidity pool aggregator. So any LQ holders, I do appreciate any votes on number 30. But that's another thing that we will dive into in another video, because the Cardano Foundation got involved in Catalyst voting today or last night. Bit of controversy on that. Overall, I think it's good that they've highlighted a lot of things in Catalyst that needed to be highlighted, and how one big whale can come in and have a massive influence on it. And I don't really want to get into the conversation here because I'm going to do something separate on it, but in reality, this could have been a Binance. It could have been some other external whale that came in and completely took control of Catalyst, but it is the foundation who've looked at a lot of different proposals. And if you look at the ones that they have picked, there's a lot of really, really good proposals there. And they will also come into it with a different eye. So they'll look at it different than community will, or that people will, and look at it as a popularity contest. They're looking at what will drive Cardano forward, what is good for the ecosystem overall. So it's not a bad thing. I would like to see them taking up less of each budget, and maybe where some of them they have the proposals they have voted for would account for 100% of the budget, leaving it very hard for other proposals. If they cap that at 30, 40, maybe even 50% of a budget in what they are backing, then I think it definitely could be something to look at. But there's a lot more to talk about on that one, and we'll do that in another video. So a few other things I wanted to just cover before we finish out. I did put this post out yesterday, or actually on Sunday, when I was planning to do the video yesterday, about looking for project updates. So obviously I'm watching all the time in the ecosystem to see what's going on, but I put this out just to see. And what I might do is generally take a quick look down through this when we do the video. So just encourage people to get out there, give the project updates, mention projects, see what's going on, and try and get a bit of exposure to different projects. And Cash did make a good point here. Make sure you speak on the constitution. So Cardano was in Argentina last week. I did talk about it in other videos, and I think it needs a dedicated video rather than being thrown into one like this. But it was a massive milestone for Cardano to get the initial constitution out there, to really take Cardano into the next level of governance and what that's going to be. And we will talk about that in a dedicated video. Charlie 3 says here that their full architecture audit is completed by Anastasia Labs and is open for all to see. I think I shared that in another video too, which is good. There's a lot of different comments here, but some of the most popular ones that I've seen was Wi-Fi. A lot of people mentioned Wi-Fi. Newcast is another one people mentioned about subscriptions being added, automated on-chain subscriptions platform. This is something that is needed. It's hard to do with subscriptions because with every transaction that you send, you need to actually sign that transaction. So I presume something like this would be where you send an initial amount of funds into a smart contract, and then there is a certain amount of them is able to be sent to whoever the merchant is every month. What is one I need to look into? Where is it? So House of Titans actually was another one that came up a good bit, and I seen that they put in a new server for Igon, which looks really, really good. Again, this is leading back to Igon and what they're expecting, the demand they're expecting to come in the not too distant future. So House of Titans really positioning themselves. They are in the deepen space where they hold tokens of other projects and they stake them for you. So like this, they set up the storage nodes for Igon, stake the Igon, and then you as a House of Titans holder, then you earn some of them staking rewards. So it's a way to diversify. I suppose Nuvula is another one that does the same type of thing. Where was this one? Walker's CNFT, not a project I know much about, but it's a name I've seen a few times there. World Mobile, Debitum, Deep In Narrative as well. One I don't know a huge amount. I don't think the team are doxed on that one yet. I've seen questions before. Would I bring them on? Would I talk to them or talk about the project? I did leave a message before under one of their posts saying that they're welcome to come on for a chat sometime, but I don't think they've exposed the team yet. If they ever do, then maybe we could. Actually, there we go. DB Docs, did they docs? Maybe they did. I'll have to check that one out after this. Wi-Fi. So yeah, there was a video here from Stephen talking about what they're going to do. They're revamping their NFT system. The NFTs that are out there, the purple NFTs, white, and I think there's a gold one. Also, they are moving to Plutus V3 contracts. I can't remember, did he give a time in that, but I will be catching up with Stephen fairly soon. Actually, the Wi-Fi burn, they are going to be burning part of the uncirculated supply. So that's going to happen over the next few months, he said. I think that was kind of the biggest ones. Obviously, you can see there's a lot of different projects being mentioned. Butane, I think, are getting very close to launching. They are another synthetics protocol on Cardano. So they will be in competition with Indigo. So it's going to be good to see some competition coming out there. Thanks for watching, guys. Do appreciate it. Hope you have a great week. Share it out if you got some value and think others can too. And subscribe for lots more Cardano content coming. Cheers.